Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. The kids and I have been enjoying this beautiful warm spell that we've had. We're in the last week of January. Yesterday we were cleaning up the weeds around the well and around the Agrimaxx box. I had a couple neighbors and friends ask about what we kind of thought about it overall. And I know that this is when everybody's making their production decisions for the year. But I wanted to kind of do like a little report or whatnot on what our final results were. And so I know this is going to be out of order, and I swear I'm going to get, it's my real goal to get all of our last season's videos edited and up before we start this next season. So the first phase that we had was getting the prep work done before they could even come out and install. So they sent the metal threadlets that we had to cut into our well system, our main line, and weld in place, and then get the power situated for where we could plug it in. And so we got all that installed and ready. The next phase was having them come out and install the actual box and get all that hooked up. Oh, yeah. So then our first kind of results that we could see were a couple weeks in after the install, but we had our big hailstorm that came in and did all that damage. And so we were really delayed because we had to wait for everything to the ground to dry out and the crops and getting it all cut and everything and up and baled and out and that whole saga. So we had a section of it that we had to roll the sprinklers back again and again and again. We left everything on, and in the spot right there before where we had hail damage, we just kept rolling the sprinkler back to start and back to start. So it was like 4 risers, if I remember right. And so we had an overwatering damage where it turned all of it yellow. But one of the things that surprised us about it was that it didn't do nearly the amount of overwatering damage as we thought it would. And then what was there bounced back so much faster than we expected. So that was really nice. Overall, our worker noticed that the ground, we had some kind of trouble spots where it kind of tended to pool, and the truck would get stuck in a lot. And there's a few spots that are have more of a clay texture, and they kind of slick. And that changed so it kind of changed the composition of the soil or whatnot or how it was watering, that the water could then soak down and not have those trouble spots anymore. The other big change that we saw was in the time that we could go between waterings. So we're on wheel lines here, and then we kind of rotate through which grounds we shut them off and turn other ones on as we're making sure and kind of keeping an eye on everything and how the stress level of the crop is doing. So in the hot August and July, we really have to get that water back on sooner than in the cooler part of the early spring and in the fall when it cools down. So we were able to go from 12 to 14 days. So that varies usually based on the temperature. I mean, you can tell with your house plants when they need a good watering. We were able to stretch it to 16 to 17 days, and even in some areas. And then overall, the crops just looked so much healthier. That was a big change that we saw. Water stress and then the heat stress didn't affect the crops nearly as much as it did before the Agrimaxx system. So our yield was quite a bit more. We saw a slightly higher yield for first, but significantly higher in second and third. So we were on our well water again, which has tons more nutrients. And then we had the Agrimaxx system going for second and third crops. And so I'm not sure if it was the more time built up on the well water combined with the Agrimaxx, where they just really synergistically charge the plants. But we did have anywhere between 20 to 30% increase in our yield. We had one field that did fantastic, and that's where kind of the 30% came in. Then we also had a warm spell where the cutworms came up, and happy caterpillar ate all the hungry caterpillar, came and ate a whole bunch of our extra yield off. But we still did have overall in the end, our bale count was still quite a bit extra. So in the barn, we had about a 20%, 25% increase in bale count. So overall, we've been really happy with the system, and I've got a handful more of videos in the production line to finish out 2023, and then we're excited for 2024. So stick with us, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks, everybody. Bye.